The bustling studio of Loose Women was alive with anticipation on that fateful morning in September 2025, as the audience settled into their seats, buzzing with excitement over the day's special guest, the legendary actor Sean Penn, known for his iconic roles in films like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. The panel, consisting of the ever-opinionated Denise Welch, alongside her co-hosts Kay Adams, Nadia Sawalha, and Jane Moore, was ready to dive into a lively discussion. The show kicked off with the usual banter, light-hearted jokes about current events, celebrity gossip, and personal anecdotes from the panelists' lives. Sean Penn entered the set with his signature charm, a slight smile playing on his lips as he greeted the hosts warmly, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries. The conversation started innocently enough, touching on his latest projects, his experiences in Hollywood, and even some fun stories from behind the scenes of his famous movies. Denise, always one to steer the talk towards more provocative topics, brought up the ongoing debate about political correctness in the entertainment industry, specifically mentioning the use of intimacy coordinators on sets, a subject Sean had publicly commented on before. He expressed his views candidly, stating that while he understood the need for protection, he felt it sometimes hindered the natural flow of acting, drawing from his own experiences and gritty, realistic roles. Denise, a staunch advocate for women's rights and safety in the workplace, immediately countered, her voice rising slightly as she argued that such measures were essential in preventing exploitation and ensuring consent, especially in light of the Me Too movement. The exchange began to heat up, with Sean defending traditional methods of filmmaking and Denise pushing back with examples of past abuses in the industry. The other panelists tried to mediate, interjecting with questions and attempts to lighten the mood, but the tension was palpable. Sean leaned forward, his Yorkshire accent thickening as he emphasized his point about artistic freedom, while Denise's face flushed with frustration, her hands gesturing emphatically. The audience watched in stunned silence, sensing that this was no ordinary chat show segment. As the argument escalated, Denise accused Sean of being out of touch with modern sensitivities, and he retorted by suggesting that overregulation could stifle creativity. The back and forth grew more intense, with neither willing to back down, turning what was meant to be a promotional appearance into a full-blown debate. Kay Adams called for a commercial break, hoping to defuse the situation, but upon returning, the sparks flew even higher. Denise, feeling personally attacked by Sean's comments, which she interpreted as dismissive of women's concerns, raised her voice, demanding that he acknowledge the importance of these changes. Sean, equally passionate, stood his ground, leading to a moment where words overlapped in a chaotic symphony of disagreement. Finally, in a shocking turn, Denise, overcome with emotion, declared that if he couldn't respect the panel's views, perhaps he shouldn't be there, effectively asking him to leave the set. The studio gasped as Sean, looking bewildered, gathered his things and walked off, leaving the hosts to wrap up the show in awkward haste. This incident would go viral, sparking discussions across social media about free speech, celebrity clashes, and the dynamics of live television. But in that moment, the air was thick with unresolved tension, marking one of the most memorable episodes in Loose Women's history. The aftermath saw apologies issued, but the raw emotion captured on camera remained etched in viewers' minds, a testament to how quickly a simple interview can spiral into controversy. Reflecting on the build-up to the explosive confrontation, it's worth noting how the Loose Women format, known for its unfiltered and often fiery discussions, set the stage for such a dramatic encounter between Denise Welch and Sean Penn. The show, which has been a staple of British daytime TV since 1999, prides itself on tackling everything from light-hearted topics to serious social issues, with its all-female panel bringing diverse perspectives to the table. On this particular day, the producers had booked Sean to promote his new film, a gritty drama exploring themes of masculinity and redemption, which naturally lent itself to deeper conversations. As the segment progressed, Denise, who has openly shared her own struggles with mental health, addiction, and body image, drew parallels between the film's narrative and real-world gender dynamics, questioning Sean's portrayal of tough male characters. He responded thoughtfully at first, explaining his approach to acting as immersive and authentic, But when Denise pressed him on whether such roles perpetuated harmful stereotypes, the tone shifted. She cited statistics on domestic violence and the need for media to evolve, while Sean argued that art should reflect life in all its complexity, not be censored for fear of offense. The other hosts chimed in, with Nadia sharing a personal story about feeling empowered on set, and Jane playing devil's advocate to balance the debate. However, Denise and Sean's exchange dominated, their voices growing louder, interrupting each other in a bid to be heard. The audience, a mix of fans and casual viewers, began to murmur, some cheering Denise's points, others nodding in agreement with Sean. The live nature of the show added to the pressure, with no retakes or edits to smooth over the rough edges. As the argument intensified, Denise referenced Sean's past interviews where he had expressed skepticism about certain progressive changes in the industry, using them as ammunition to challenge his views. Sean, feeling cornered, fired back by questioning if the panel was ganging up on him, a male guest in a female-dominated space. This accusation only fueled Denise's fire, leading her to retort that the show was about open dialogue, not pandering to outdated opinions. The clash reached its peak when Denise, in a moment of high emotion, stood up and pointed towards the exit, telling Sean that if he couldn't engage respectfully, he was welcome to leave. Stunned, Sean paused, then rose from his seat, muttering under his breath as he exited the stage, the cameras capturing every awkward second. The remaining panelists looked shocked, quickly transitioning to the next segment, but the damage was done. Post-show, social media erupted with clips of the argument. Hashtags like #LooseWomenDrama and #SeanBinWalksOff trending worldwide. Commentators debated who was right, with some praising Denise for standing her ground and others criticizing her for being too aggressive. Sean later issued a statement saying he respected differing opinions but felt the discussion had become too heated, while Denise defended her actions on her own platforms, emphasizing the importance of calling out what she saw as regressive attitudes. This event not only boosted the show's ratings but also highlighted the unpredictable nature of live TV, where personalities clash and real emotions surface unscripted. In the days following, Loose Women addressed the incident in subsequent episodes, with the panel reflecting on the value of passionate debate versus maintaining civility. Delving deeper into the personalities involved, Denise Welch, a veteran of Loose Women since 2005, has built a reputation as the show's firebrand, never shying away from controversial topics or sharing her unvarnished opinions. Her background as an actress in soaps like Coronation Street and her candid discussions about her bipolar disorder have endeared her to audiences, making her a relatable figure who speaks her mind. Sean Bin, on the other hand, hails from Sheffield and rose to fame through roles that often portray stoic, resilient men facing adversity. From Sharp to Ned Stark, his off-screen persona is similarly straightforward, with a history of forthright interviews that sometimes stir debate. The collision of these two strong-willed individuals was perhaps inevitable given the topic at hand. The argument began subtly, with Denise asking Sean about his thoughts on the evolving landscape of acting, particularly regarding gender equality and safety protocols. He replied that while progress was good, he worried about overcomplicating the creative process, citing examples from his career where improvisation led to powerful scenes. Denise, drawing from her own experiences and those of colleagues, argued that such freedom had historically come at the expense of vulnerable actors, especially women. As the dialogue heated, phrases like "that's just how it was" from Sean clashed with Denise's "times have changed for a reason." The co-hosts attempted to steer the conversation, but the momentum was unstoppable. Audience members later recounted feeling the room's energy shift from engaging to uncomfortable, with applause turning to gasps. In the midst of the fray, Denise's passion boiled over when Sean suggested that some complaints were exaggerated, prompting her to accuse him of mansplaining. This term ignited Sean, who defended himself by saying he was merely sharing his perspective as an industry veteran. The verbal sparring continued through a segment break, with producers reportedly urging calm backstage, but upon resuming, the fire reignited. Denise, feeling the weight of representing women's voices, made the decisive move, stating firmly, "If you're not here to listen and learn, then maybe this isn't the place for you." effectively ejecting him from the discussion. Sean, taken aback, complied, leaving with a shake of his head and a wave to the audience. The immediate fallout saw the show trending on every platform, with memes, reaction videos, and opinion pieces dissecting every word. Supporters of Denise hailed her as a hero for feminism, while Sean's fans decried the treatment as rude and unprofessional. Loose Women's official account posted a teaser clip, boosting viewership for the full episode online. In interviews afterward, Denise expressed no regrets, saying the exchange was necessary to highlight important issues, whereas Sean downplayed it as a passionate disagreement. This incident joined the ranks of infamous TV moments, like other Loose Women clashes, reminding viewers that behind the glamour, real human conflicts play out in real time. The broader implications touched on cancel culture, free expression, and the role of media in shaping societal norms, sparking thoughtful dialogues beyond the sensational headlines. Examining the broader context of the Loose Women show, it's clear that episodes like the one featuring Sean Bean are part of a tradition of bold, boundary-pushing content that keeps the program relevant in a crowded TV landscape. Airing weekdays on ITV, the show has hosted countless celebrities, from politicians to pop stars, often delving into hot-button issues with a mix of humor and honesty. On this occasion, the producers likely anticipated some sparks given Sean's known views and Denise's advocacy, but no one foresaw the full extent of the drama. The segment started with standard promotional talk, Sean discussing his new role and sharing amusing anecdotes about filming in challenging locations. However, when the panel shifted to societal topics, specifically the impact of media on gender perceptions, the gloves came off. Denise led the charge, questioning if actors like Sean had a responsibility to adapt to new standards, such as using intimacy coordinators to ensure comfort during sensitive scenes. Sean countered that in his era, trust between co-stars was key, and adding third parties could disrupt that chemistry. This viewpoint clashed sharply with Denise's insistence on prioritizing safety over tradition, leading to a rapid escalation where personal barbs were exchanged. The other panelists, sensing the volatility, tried to interject with lighter questions, but the focus remained on the two combatants. Viewers at home watched transfixed as the argument unfolded, with social media lighting up in real time with live tweets and comments. Denise's frustration peaked when she felt Sean was dismissing her points, prompting her to rise and declare the interview over for him. Sean, composed but clearly irritated, obliged, exiting stage left amid stunned silence from the audience. Post-incident, the show continued awkwardly, with the hosts addressing the elephant in the room and promising more balanced discussions in future. The viral nature of the clip led to increased scrutiny, with media outlets analyzing body language and word choices. Some critics argued that Denise overstepped, turning a guest appearance into a confrontation, while others applauded her for holding firm against perceived outdated attitudes. Sean, in a follow-up appearance elsewhere, laughed it off as part of the unpredictability of live TV, but admitted the exchange was intense. Denise, meanwhile, used her Instagram to elaborate on her stance, garnering support from fellow activists. This event underscored the challenges of discussing divisive topics on air, where emotions can override scripts. It also boosted Loose Women's profile, attracting new viewers curious about the controversy. In retrospect, the clash served as a catalyst for wider conversations about respect and debates, the evolution of the entertainment industry, and how public figures navigate differing opinions. While no physical altercation occurred, the verbal kicking off left a lasting impression, proving that words can be as impactful as actions in the world of television. In the wake of the heated argument that saw Denise Welch effectively kick Sean Bean off the Loose Women set, the entertainment world buzzed with reactions, analyses, and speculations about what really happened behind the scenes. Fans of the show dissected every frame of the broadcast, noting Denise's rising tone and Sean's defensive posture as key indicators of the brewing storm. The topic that ignited the fiery modern acting protocols versus traditional methods resonated with many in the industry, drawing parallels to ongoing debates about inclusivity and change. Denise, post-show, stood by her actions, explaining in a heartfelt post that she felt compelled to challenge views she saw as harmful, especially on a platform dedicated to women's voices. Sean, known for his no-nonsense demeanor, responded graciously in interviews, acknowledging the passion on both sides but lamenting the abrupt end to the discussion. The Loose Women team issued a statement emphasizing their commitment to diverse opinions while ensuring a respectful environment. Viewers flooded comment sections with divided opinions. Some called for Denise to apologize for her assertiveness. Others celebrated her as a trailblazer unafraid to confront celebrity guests. The incident even inspired parody sketches on late-night shows, exaggerating the drama for comedic effect. As days passed, more details emerged, with insiders revealing that tensions had simmered during the pre-show briefing, hinting at mismatched expectations. The argument's core revolved around Sean's comment that things were different back then, which Denise interpreted as excusing past misconducts, leading her to retort with examples of how such attitudes perpetuated inequality. The back and forth included interruptions, raised voices, and pointed fingers, culminating in Denise's declaration that the show wouldn't tolerate dismissal of serious issues. Sean's departure was met with mixed applause and boos from the audience, adding to the chaotic atmosphere. In the editing room for reruns, producers debated how much to include, ultimately opting for transparency to capitalize on the buzz. This event joined a lineage of memorable Loose Women moments, like previous clashes with guests over politics or personal lives, reinforcing the show's reputation for authenticity. Broader media coverage explored themes of gender dynamics in talk shows, questioning if male guests face unfair scrutiny or if female hosts are held to higher standards of politeness. Denise's history of advocacy, from mental health awareness to body positivity, framed her responses consistent with her persona, while Sean's rugged image made his stance seem in character. The fallout included increased bookings for both, with Sean fielding questions about the incident in promotional tours and Denise addressing it on subsequent episodes. Ultimately, the confrontation highlighted the power of live television to capture genuine human interactions, flaws and all, serving as a reminder that even celebrities can have unscripted meltdowns. While no lasting feud ensued, the story lingered in pop culture, inspiring think pieces on civility and discourse and the role of media in amplifying conflicts. Wrapping up the saga of Denise Welch's dramatic ejection of Sean Bean from Loose Women following their intense on-air argument, it's evident that this incident will be remembered as a pivotal moment in daytime TV history, blending entertainment with real-world social commentary. The show's format, encouraging candid exchanges, inadvertently created the perfect storm for such a clash, with Denise's fervent feminism colliding head-on with Sean's traditionalist views on artistry. In the hours after the broadcast, clips circulated rapidly online, amassing millions of views and sparking global conversations about etiquette and debates and the boundaries of guest-host interactions. Denise, reflecting on the event, expressed pride in sparking dialogue on important issues, though she admitted the heat of the moment led to an impulsive decision. Sean, ever the professional, moved on quickly, focusing on his career while appreciating the publicity boost. The Loose Women panel revisited the topic in later shows, inviting experts to discuss the merits of both sides, turning a negative into an educational opportunity. Audience feedback was overwhelmingly engaged, with many praising the authenticity despite the discomfort. This episode's legacy extends beyond the immediate drama, influencing how producers approach sensitive topics and guest selections. It also underscored the evolving nature of television, where viral moments can eclipse planned content, driving ratings through controversy. In analyzing the argument's progression, from polite inquiry to heated exchange, one sees classic elements of conflict, differing worldviews, emotional investment, and the pressure of a live audience. Denise's final words, urging Sean to leave if unwilling to engage constructively, echoed sentiments of empowerment, resonating with viewers who felt represented. Sean's graceful exit, without further escalation, demonstrated restraint amid provocation. Post-incident, both parties received support from peers, with actors siding with Sean on creative freedoms and activists backing Denise on progress.